I'm highly spiritual. 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 I'm highly spiritual.
Peace and love, friends and family. Welcome back to another episode of the Highly Emotional Podcast. If you're here, it's because you're supposed to be here. Today, I wanted to touch on helping people into the next stage of transitioning to the new earth. It's a lot of, things that are going on. A lot of people talking about, reptilians and the new world and so on and so forth. As mystical and magical as these things sound, it's not that simple. It's not simple as just preparing yourself and going out and being ready for war. It actually starts within. The journey of, transcending or ascension is about unlocking the things that are already embedded within you as the person that you authentically are. As my friend Robert Edward Grant says, the highest frequency is authenticity. So with that being said, you have to say, who is the authentic, true version of yourself? Most people, they're like, I'm always the real version of me, this, and that. But what if I told you that every single thing that you think is really you is not? It's actually a compilation of things that were placed upon you that you now identify as based upon your programming as a child. In psychology, they talk about the iceberg. And with the iceberg, the tip of the iceberg is the 5% on which you are doing consciously, and below of the iceberg is the 95% of the things that you are doing subconsciously, unconsciously. So a lot of the things that we're experiencing in our life, how we're viewing life, how we're placing judgment, how we're trapped in a perception that's been placed upon us based upon our subconscious. When we were children, our parents told us that we were Black, what religion we were, what family we were, what's our name, this, and that. So that became our true identity. But in all actuality, that's not your true identity. There's a lot of us who are operating in certain levels of consciousness that are unconscious based upon our programming. So here we go. Now, there's two ways to look at it. Most people believe that if they are a male, they're acting masculine. And if they're a female, they're acting feminine. So here's the question. How do you know if you're a masculine male or a feminine female? And what does this mean? Based upon certain tests that I've done and just being conscious, being aware, and actually unlocking things based upon myself and doing shadow work myself, I realized that when I was thinking that I was masculine, I was truly acting femininely. Here's my example. When I look out into the world and I observe people in our culture that say that they're masculine men, most of them say, yeah, I'm a man. I'm this, and that. But the crazy thing is that if you are a masculine man, you would never have to state that. You would never have to tell somebody you're a masculine man. A lot of times when you observe, a man who is loud is only a man who is loud based upon his mommy issues or his daddy issues. If you were raised by an independent woman, a lot of times when you insert your dominance, you're going to be loud because you didn't have a father figure to show you how to act as a man. And a lot of times when we were raised by a single independent woman, in order for her to discipline you, she had to get loud. That's what it became. So she had to be loud, be stern, be all these things, and then turn around and nurture you. So us as men that like to say, I'm a masculine man, I'm a man, I'm this, and that. A lot of times we're not masculine at all. What's showing up is our independent single woman fending for herself. And you can observe that because if you see an independent woman, a lot of times, because she doesn't have a male counterpart, she has to insert her dominance. She has to protect herself. So then you sit here and ask yourself, why am I this way? Because of your programming. Because someone told you this is what a male's supposed to do. When all actuality, as a man, you can be more reserved. You can be more relaxed, more calm, more empathetic. Because when you realize the power that is inside of you, the power that you possess, you don't have to react. You don't have to show the world. I don't have to walk around the world saying, I'm a masculine man. And the same thing with a female. A lot of times, women who didn't have a man to protect them have to protect themselves. So therefore, they incorporate the loud, I don't need a man behavior. So how do you overcome these things? First of all, it starts with acknowledgement. You have to acknowledge that you're flawed. And I'm not here to point the fingers because I've suffered from these things also. I'm still a constant work in progress. I'm still constantly working on these things myself because I realize that when I'm offended in certain moments, because I was raised by an independent Black woman, when someone offends me and I feel like I have to defend myself, I talk loud. My voice raises. Then I feel like I have to be aggressive, but I don't have to be aggressive at all because I'm already a man. I know the power that I possess. I have abandonment issues. And the reason why I know that I have abandonment issues because one, I have trust issues, but two, I'm very clingy to my wife. I've done these research. I've done the trial and errors on myself. So therefore, when I can observe people, I instantly can tell. A lot of us, we always tell people what we've been through to like set a standard. Yo, don't try me. I've been through this. Bro, you don't have to carry on that image. You don't have to wear that mask. If you've been to jail, you don't have to walk around telling people that you've been to jail. The only reason why you're walking around saying these things is because you're holding on to that identity. But that's not who you authentically are. You have to sit with yourself, sit back and say, well, who am I authentically? What was I before I went to jail? What was I before I did this? A lot of times we're holding on to those type of identities because we look at them as validation. Oh, I went through this, so therefore that validates me as a strong person. No, it doesn't. What validates you as a strong person is just being you, being true to yourself. So a lot of times we'll sit here and we'll go around and we'll take on these images from ourselves. I came from the struggle. I came from the trap. I was raising my kids by this. No, that's not your image. You don't have to identify as that. You can release that. The only way to release it is by healing from it, by addressing it. Yo, I'm this way because when I was a child, I was raised by an independent woman who didn't have a man to protect her. So therefore, she had to be the mom and the dad. She had to play both positions. She couldn't just nurture me the way that I needed. She had to also discipline me in certain ways that she thought a man would discipline me. So now here I am. When it comes to women, I have trust issues. 2, I don't like a loud woman who's aggressive. 3, I sit here and when I'm frustrated and I feel like I need to validate myself, I talk loud. I do things that I feel need to validate me as a man. So we have to stop clinging on to these identities. We have to stop saying, this is who I am. When you sit with yourself in silence, when you sit with yourself in silence and you start breaking apart all of your first memories, your subconscious beliefs, your subconscious identities, well, then you can start reprogramming yourself. So first it starts with when you're in a certain situation. Let's say you're in a group of your friends and one of your friends does something that makes a trigger go off, an emotional trigger. First of all, you have to say is, why is this situation making me so mad? Why am I so upset? Why does this little person, this little situation become so explosive to me? Why am I suffering from this? And if you sit in silence and you sit with it, your subconscious will present one of the first times that this had happened. So when you do that and you address it, one, back to what I always say, you have to forgive yourself for accepting it. Hey, I'm sorry that I accepted this as my image. I'm sorry that I accepted this for me. You have to put the power back into your hands. You have to let go of that image because that's not who you are. You are not your struggle. You are not just a product of your environment. Just because everybody in your hood, everybody in your neighborhood, everybody in your family is this way doesn't mean that you have to settle for that for you. Just because everybody in your family may be fat don't mean that you have to continue to eat unhealthy, because now you are conscious of the poison that you're putting in your food and you can make the conscious decision to change. We have to be willing to change. It's not about winning the fight. It's about putting up the fight. As a man, validation again, it's hard as fuck sometimes because I have to step up and make sure that I'm at the front when any danger arises when it comes to my family. It may be scary at sometimes, but it's never about winning the fight. It's about putting up the fight, having the power to make sure that I give my family an opportunity to escape or to be protected. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter if I lose. Because even if I lose, I still created a distraction. So that's what people cling on to. People cling on these images, these constructs, and then you live in a life where you're still trying to survive. You're still in survivor mode because you felt like your entire life you had to survive. You don't have to survive. You need to live. You need to let go and abandon those old identities and alchemize or magically transcend that energy into something new. I don't have to put that at the forefront of my life. I don't have to say, yo, I've been depressed. I've been this. I don't have to say that. I've already overcame that. I can simply state, because if we're talking about the laws of attraction and the universal laws or the hermetic principles, in order to manifest the reality that you want, it starts with your vibration, your mind, and your actions. They all have to be in a line because whichever one is stronger, that's what's going to attract to you. So if you want to sit here and look in the mirror and say, oh, I am love, I am light, I am peace, but your vibration in your mind is saying something different, what do you think that you're going to attract? You're going to attract something that you don't want. A lot of us, we sit here and try to attract peace and positivity, but we still living in survival mode. You have to take that image off yourself. You've already accomplished that. You don't need to stay in that state of being in survivor's mode. You have to let it go. So back to what I was saying is with the mommy issues and the daddy issues, a lot of us are suffering from our mommy and daddy issues or abandonment issues. Just because you had your mom in your life or your dad in your life don't mean that you have issues. I'm a father of 6, and I've been in all my children's life except for one. But even the ones that I'm in their life still have certain type of issues from me because I'm still growing. I'm still learning. So there's chances of or an opportunity where I fucked up and I didn't come through because I'm still learning. I have to get through my shit first before I can even be the best dad that I need to be for them. But I'm conscious of my mistakes. And therefore, when my child comes to me and says, hey, dad, I'm dealing with this, I can say, yo, I fucked up. Oh, you got abandonment issues? I understand, because you have abandonment issues because you feel like me and your mom not being together makes you feel lonely. It makes sense. So that's the thing. If I can acknowledge as a parent that I'm implementing trauma onto my children, then we as adults or people need to acknowledge that we do have mommy issues and daddy issues. What issues are you suffering from today? What are your mommy issues? What are your daddy issues? I got daddy issues too. I have trust issues. I don't trust any other man. I cannot take any type of criticism for a man because I am the man. I don't need someone else to lead me because I am the leader because I've never been led. So it's hard for me to compromise myself and settle down to listen to a man. I got mommy issues, so therefore I cling to my woman a certain type of way. It's hard for me to just let her go because I don't want to be abandoned. How do I work through these things? I constantly become conscious. I start replacing certain behaviors with other things. When it comes to being clingy, I now seek opportunity to be by myself. That's how you overcome it. You have to replace those bad habits or those images or those beliefs with new beliefs. New beliefs. Forgive your parents, forgive yourself. And then create the actions, the vibrations, the mentality so that you can manifest something new for yourself. How do you do this? It all starts with you. It all starts by sitting in silence and say, what am I dealing with today? Every day is an opportunity to become renewed. And in order to become renewed, you have to sit with yourself and get through your old shit. But don't be afraid to address your shit. Don't be afraid to address your shadow. Accept your shadow for who it is because your shadow has been there protecting you this entire time. So when we talk about manifestation, we talk about transcending into a new reality, we talk about escaping the matrix. The only way you can escape the matrix is here. But stop living in the state of survival mode. You have to change your beliefs, but you have to address it. You have to accept it, man. Oh, my mom, she was good. She did her best. When you say that she did her best or he did his best and this and that, you're basically defending them and then you're holding on to that belief. Let it go. You know that they did their best. You don't have to stick up for them. Now it's time for you to rewrite your future and let go of your history. Yeah, you know what it's like to be poor. You know what it's like to be depressed. But you don't have to hold on to it. You just move forward. Walk towards the future. Walk towards what you envision yourself in the future, how you want yourself to feel. If you hold on to that, then that will become your reality. Your reality can truly transcend if you can focus in, attune your mind, your spirit, in your actions, all in one, and walk how you see your future self. If you can learn to understand these things, if you can truly sit with yourself in silence, sit with your subconscious thoughts, sit with your shadow, and ask the questions, it will lead you to where you need to be. Intuition. And this is one thing that I've learned how to do. By learning how to lock in with my intuition and follow my intuition, it was a couple steps that helped me build my intuition. One of the steps was fasting for a few days. Fasting for a few days raised my awareness, raised my consciousness. I started stripping out all the negative foods, all the things that were getting to me and blocking my thought process, blocking my pineal gland, blocking my consciousness. I had to strip away fatty foods, unhealthy foods, carbonated drinks, sodas, candy, all these things that are dense and keep you at a low state. You have to strip them off. You don't have to do it forever. Just do it for a period of time. And then when you are in that state of fasting, breaking down all that negative food, then you will start thinking clearer. When you think clearer, then you will feel your intuition present itself and you will feel the energy of the world around you. Sitting in a room, like for example, when you're fasting and you sit in a room, you can feel the energy of someone who is negative or someone who's positive. You can feel the energy of the room itself because everything is energetic. You cannot escape the matrix until you escape the matrix within you that is affecting your reality through your subconscious. It's that simple. It's not any other thing. It's not about, the world's going to end, this, and that. If the world is going to end, then guess what? There's nothing you can do about it. If the aliens, reptilians, the matrix, so on and so forth, if all these things are going to happen, there's nothing you can do about it. You have to start within yourself, because nothing can manifest in the physical state, in the physical plane, until you go through the mind and the spirit. It can't. If your mind is still fucked up, you're still holding on to subconscious trauma, your shadow, childhood trauma, you're still holding on to these things. Hey, your reality is going to always feel the same. It's always going to feel like you're trapped in the matrix and you're going through all this bad shit. Once you address it, back to what I've been saying this whole time, once you address it and free yourself, then everything will start breaking down. You'll start seeing everything for what it is. Yes, we live in a matrix. Yes, it's a holographic universe. Yes, we all are one. Yes, what you think, what you feel, what your vibration is, what your actions are, all create the reality. But subconsciously, you are doing a lot more than what you are conscious of. So, to build your consciousness, to break down your subconsciousness, to go through the file cabinet in your brain of your subconsciousness, you have to start saying, when a negative thought comes across your mind or something plays out in your reality, it's an opportunity to learn. Why is this way? Why is this happening? Why is my attention focused on this and not this? Why are you more focused on the negative things that are happening right now in this moment than the positive things that are happening? Because they have to coexist. Negative cannot exist all by itself, and positive cannot exist all by itself either. So you have to tune your frequency and your intention into what you want. The moment that you feel something negative is presenting itself, say, "Oh, hold on. What are the positives? What in this moment can I be more positive about? Because I know that this negative shit is happening. There has to be something positive that's happening also in this moment. They have to coexist. That's just what it is. Every single thing is duality. It's two-sided. Two sides of the quarter, two sides of the dollar, light, dark, so on and so forth. But ultimately, there's just one. There's just one reality. It's all about how you tune your frequency and set your intentions within on how you experience the life that you want. So, anybody who's suffering, my lesson to you is, one, ask, when did my suffering begin? Two, how long are you going to hold on to this? Three, can I forgive myself? Can I forgive this? Do I truly want to be happy? And four, continue to practice every single thing that arises in your reality that you disagree with or that hurts. Sit with it, acknowledge it, be at peace with it, forgive yourself from it. And if you can't be at peace with it right now, continue to work on it. Continue to address it. Take your time. There is no rush. Healing yourself and your subconscious trauma is not a one-day thing. A lot of times it takes a lifetime. A lot of times it can take forever. A lot of times it's a lot of time. So don't rush. Anything that's fast it never lasts. Remember that. And if anything, it's okay. It's okay to address. It's okay to cry. It's okay to feel all those emotions. But don't allow that to be your identity. Don't allow it to be your reality. Always strive for something more because you deserve it. You deserve to live in a life full of gratitude. You deserve to live this life at a state where you can be happy to just exist. You should be able to find peace with that. You should be able to live your true, authentic life. Figure out who you are authentically by breaking down all this trauma and find that kid that you used to be at the very beginning. The one who was happy with the most simple things in life, whether it was a box, whether it was a small toy, whether it was just being around the people you love, whatever it was, you have to get back to your true, authentic self. And if you don't address your subconscious, if you don't address your shadow, if you don't address your suffering, your trauma, you're going to continue in the loop that we've all been in and that we're all tired of being in. So if you're tired of that, it's time. It's time to transcend. It's time to break through. And if you enjoyed this message, you enjoyed everything that I said, this message is for you. If you're suffering from depression, if you're tired of being on depression medication, if you're tired of going to a therapist, you're tired of therapy, you're tired of all this bullshit that's not working and you want to put the power back into yourself, please pre-order my book. Only You Can Save Yourself right now, because it teaches you how to put the power back into your hands with 3 simple steps that can change your life and help you transcend your reality so that you can live the best reality that you deserve to live right now. And until next time, peace, love, and light. Big Swim.